Hello everybody, Food Plot and Forestry Friday episode 1, relaunching the series that I started several years ago and keeping it in tune with our Wednesday Weed of the Week, and we'll see if we throw another series in here as well. But I want to talk to you guys about the benefits of a timber harvest in the woods. Now this is our woods we had select cut this past winter. We marked this woods entirely ourselves. We felt comfortable doing that with our goals that we had in for this property. Now, I'm not saying that that's a fit for everybody. Sometimes it is best to work with a consulting forester or a state forester to help you manage that woodlot, but we had a pretty good feel with it. We knew the logger really well. He'd done a couple other timber harvests for friends and clients of mine on the consulting side of stuff, so felt very good with Johnson. They're going to come back in here, clean these trails up, even though they don't need a lot of work. A couple ruts where they found a couple soft spots, but nothing terrible at all. This is the main ridge on the property. As you can see, we got really nice pockets of sunlight and then nice pockets of dark. Basically what we ended up having with this select cut is kind of like a pocketed, almost clear cuts in some instances. But then other places where we didn't take a lot, or there weren't a lot of trees that were ready or mature for that, we didn't cut them because they weren't ready to be cut. We didn't need to cut them. Nice maple came out here. Nice maples came out over there. A couple over the roll, but not too many here. We got some nice stock left behind for upcoming timber harvest, but the real goal with this was to provide wildlife forage and then also get the woods into a mixed age, so there's always timber to potentially cut for money return, because it's just like an investment. At some point that investment is going to peak with it. It's not like a standard investment. It's one of those things that a tree has a life cycle. So if you don't harvest it before the quality goes down, your money goes down, and then everything suffers in the woods overall. And we actually noticed that a lot with our timber. With getting it to a certain size, it was not as high dollar or grading out as high across the board. So when we did this harvest, we knew it was going to come out a lot because we marked a lot, obviously, because there was a lot that was ready to be cut because it should have been cut maybe 10 years ago. And then we would have been a much lighter cut this time around, but it ended up being a heavy first cut. But really, it still looks like a forest because they worked with a feller buncher in most of the situation, other than some of the steep side hill stuff and ravine stuff. Most of it was done with a feller buncher, so it was low impact. They could stack these tops really good and strategic. These ones will get pulled off and cleaned up, the ones down in the vernal pond, so that'll be better. That'll be pretty easy to clean that out. And then we have nice tops back up in here for shelter wood, and that's protecting a lot of that young tree species that are coming up, and as well as the next generation of timber that's coming in here, other than the generation that's obviously up and grown. Now what we're seeing with this response is we're seeing a ton of beneficial plants coming up in this. We're seeing stuff like burnweed, which deer will really start hitting here in about another month. We're seeing a lot of blackberry, black raspberry. There was some regular raspberry, look at sumac, goldenrod poking its head up. When was the last time goldenrod was in this timber? A couple decades ago, I would say, at least. Unless we had the windstorm or the ice storm, would have been maybe the last time we saw that with some of the tree rings, which was really cool. We do have some non-desirable stuff, such as this bittersweet poking its head up. This is a first-year plant. It's already putting down quite a bit of roots. I've been pulling that up as I've been walking. Not a ton of it, and I'll pull it up, throw it on a log. That should dry the root out, and it should be dead. We got one right here that they haven't found yet. We got a lot of this young pokeweed coming up, first-year pokeweed. We saw a lot of that back in the woods, and I see a lot more of it out here. A lot of raspberry. And then I noticed that they were browsing some of the nightshade pretty heavily over here, which I've never seen that before. So I thought that was something to be take notice of. Another blackberry. Here we go. That's a red raspberry right there. Yum, yum. Look at all the raspberry right here. So any place you have a major soil disturbance like this, that's where that raspberry really likes to come up. And look at the young maples in with this, coming on for that next generation. Look at all the maple seedlings here coming up. We got woodvine. We got wild grape, which is another highly desirable one that they've been really targeting. Lots of good stuff, guys. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah, here's some of that nightshade. And I'm wondering if it's because of the moisture content in it, because it is pretty moisture rich. So that's going to be like in the tomato family, nightshade family, which tomato is a nightshade family plant. Here's a pokeweed right here, burnweed. Look at all the blackberry in here though. Really nice little pocket of blackberry. A lot of browse on the blackberry right there. But our Wednesday weed of the week was pokeweed, and there's been a few of them through here that I haven't been able to really get a good look at because I've been nipping them down to the ground. But lots of great stuff in this woodlot. I can hear dozens of bird species in this woodlot. I can hear cicadas now going. This is just teeming with life. There's insects in it. There's turkeys. My dad has seen a successful brood, I guess we would call it, of turkeys right up here by the vernal pond. When he was back here in the timber like 2 weeks ago, he said there was at least 4 juvenile poults with that hen, it looked like he said. So that's good news. We're out here retooling up our cameras, shooting a couple videos before I head to St. Louis this week. And obviously look at all this growth back in here. Much more sunlight coming off of the food plot up here. The dump is what we call this. So, and obviously some undesirable stuff like dock and some, some curly dock going to seed here. It's just about the right time to get in here to mow this. Get rid of some of it. I think this is stilt grass. So this will all be sprayed off, cleaned up. But look, we actually had wheat, finally for the first time, go to seed in here because we had enough sunlight, because we took out this couple maples. Stand right there is where I shot 6-pack out of 2 years ago. Shot him right up here, about where I'm standing. This was a mixed clover plot at the time. The thing with this one is you got to kind of reseed it every year because it wasn't getting as much sunlight, but now it's getting a lot more sunlight. So once we push this off, clean this edge up a little bit, this plot I think will even hunt even better. We have top field out there, which we're going to talk about in an upcoming video. I'll probably shoot it today, but we'll talk about it in an upcoming video. But the benefits of having a good timber management plan for your property, having the right goal with that, and then executing that is huge. So we'll have this cleaned up, pushed off. Obviously the main logging road going down the hill, have that cleaned up. Might actually block that trail with snow fence in the off season so deer don't come up behind you in that stand. And they come up here, might have it drop down there. We'll see how it goes when they're in here with the dozer cleaning it up. But it's beautiful back in here. It's peaceful, it's biodiverse rich, and land rich is what I feel like it is, because you're increasing the biodiversity, you're increasing the richness and the value of that land. So got an economic boost from the timber harvest. Now we got the wildlife benefit and boost from the after of the timber harvest. So I'm gonna head into top field, set a couple more new cameras, and shoot another video. But I want to thank you guys for tuning into this first Food Plot and Forestry Friday little woods walk there. And hopefully we'll be doing more of these videos. Gonna do one weed of the week, a food plot or Forestry Friday video every week. So this one was a little bit longer because I was just out there enjoying it so darn much. But I'll try to keep the other ones a lot more brief and simple and have a good tidbit or something like that. Then I'm seeing out real time what I'm seeing in the woods or my fields this time of the year. So thank you all for tuning in. If you like this, please let us know in the comments below. So consider subscribing to the channel so you get all of our updates. Follow us along on TikTok, Instagram, any of our other social media outlets here. Again, Ben Williams with Whitetail Properties here in the Finger Lakes team with Tim Kent, Heather Kent, myself in the state of New York, and Hunter Proof Whitetails Podcast. I will see you all next time in the field. Take care, guys. Have a great day.